Hai, Assalamualaikum. I am Nur Sarah binti Muhammad Hadi from BA1183B. I will talk about China's country background. China is a country in East Asia. It is the world's most populous country with a population of around 1.428 billion in 2017, covering approximately 9,600,000 square kilometers. It is the world's third or fourth largest country by area governed by the Communist Party of China. China emerged as one of the world's first civilizations in the fertile basin of Yellow River in the North China Plain. For millennia, China's political system was born on hereditary monarchies or dynasties beginning with the semi-mythical Xia dynasty in 21st century BCE. China is a unitary one-party socialist republic and is one of the few existing socialist states. Political dissidents and human rights groups have denounced and criticized the Chinese government for human rights abuses, suppression of religious and ethnic minorities, censorship, and mass violence in 1989. Since the introduction of economic reforms in 1978, China's economy has been one of the world's fastest growing, with annual growth rates consistently above 6%. According to the World Bank, China's GDP grew from 150 billion in 1978 to 12.24 trillion by 2017. According to official data, China's GDP in 2018 was 90 trillion yuan. Since 2010, China has been the world's second largest economy by nominal GDP, and since 2014, the largest economy in the world by PPP. China is also the world's largest exporter and second largest importer of goods. China is a recognized nuclear weapon state and has the world's largest standing army, the People's Liberation Army, and the second largest defense budget.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Anis binti Zunaidi from BA1183B. Today I'm going to introduce about the economy of China. Let's go. The economy of China has transitioned from a central plane system to a more market-oriented economy, which currently ranks as the second largest in the world by nominal GDP and the largest in the world by purchasing power parity. China is the world's fastest growing major economy, with growth rates averaging 6% over 30 years. According to IMF, on a per capita income basis, China ranks 73rd by GDP per capita in 2019. China has the world's second highest number of billionaires with a total wealth of $999 billion. It has the fourth largest inward foreign direct investment and the 11th largest outward foreign direct investment. It has the world's largest foreign exchange reserve worth $3.1 trillion. China was one of the world's foremost economic power for the 2 millennia from the 1st until the 19th century. China is the world's largest manufacturing economy and an exporter of the goods.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nofal Shafahana binti Muhammad. I'm from BA1183B. In this video, I will explain about unemployment problem of the China.
China's fourth quarter 2018 GDP growth fell to 6.4% year-on-year, the slowest rate of growth since the global financial crisis. It brought full-year growth down to 6.6%, the slowest yearly rate of growth since 1990. As we can see from the chart below, the country unemployment rate has been low and quite stable. It rose gradually from the early 1990s to the early 20s as the government pursued a program of privatization and marketization, and then remained largely unchanged, hovering around 4% from the early 20s to 2013. This stability is rather startling considering that over the period 2002 until 2018, China's growth rate has fluctuated considerably. There are many problems with the government past and current measure of unemployment. Perhaps the most important is that it is a really an urban-registered jobless rate. The urban designation is significant because of China's household registration system, which identifies a person by their place of birth. Migrant workers who come to an urban area in search of work do not have an urban registration and thus deny the benefit enjoyed by the urban worker population. Another problem with the official measure is that until the April 2018 revision, an unemployed urban worker had to register with their local employment service agency to be counted as unemployed.
Hello. My name is Muhammad Ali Faikal bin Roslihan from BA1183B2. Right now, I will be talking about China's GDP, or Gross Domestic Product. Gross Domestic Product, or GDP, by definition refers to the value measurement of economic activity within a country. GDP is the sum of the market values or prices of all final goods and services produced in an economy during a period of time. There are three important distinctions within the simple definition. Number 1. GDP is a number that shows the output of a country in a local currency. Number 2. GDP shows the final product monetary value are represented in GDP. And number 3, GDP is calculated during a specific period of time, usually a year or a quarter of a year. According to CIA's The World Factbook, the economy of China has transitioned from a centrally planned system to a more market-oriented economy, which, as of now, ranks as the second largest in the world by nominal GDP and the largest in the world by purchasing power. As of 2018, China's private sector already amounted to 60% of the GDP. They also helped with the 80% of urban employment as well as 90% of new jobs. The graph shows the total GDP for China in 2018, which is 13.61 trillion US dollar, just below the United States by 6.93 trillion US dollar. Nowadays, China and the United States has been in a trade war for some time, which in turn has slightly hurt the economy in China. As shown in the graph by Global Times China, since 2014, the GDP growth in China has been quite consistent throughout the year, though in 2018, the GDP growth seemingly shows a tiny drop in percentage, which might be because of the trade war between China and the US, and perhaps several other factors. There are a lot of sectors of economy in China, but the three major sectors of economy in China is agriculture, industry, and services. These products significantly help increase the GDP growth and percentage in China. According to Intrepid Sourcing website, their primary sector represents 9% of China's total GDP, and they produce 20% of the world's food. The graph shows the GDP deflator and inflation annually from 2009, and it shows that China went from negative pointer in inflation on 2009 and then a huge jump to 6.9 in the next year. In 2017 to 2018, the inflation level seems at a stable point between 4 to 3%.